Rotor is off. Use some brake cleaner to clean this up a little bit. I'm using brake cleaner in here, but you may want to use a wire brush to clean that out, because when you go to put the new rotor on, it's going to be really tight. You can get past that by putting the rotor on and then put 2 lug nuts on it and tighten it down. It'll get it on there. When you do put the new rotor on, you definitely want to make sure it's seated properly, because if it's not fully seated and you put the screw in it and tighten the screw down, it may be off. And what's going to happen is you're going to go put the caliper back on and it's not going to be on there properly. I'm going to put this on here. I'm going to put some thread lock on there. When you put the brake rotor on, don't use just this screw to tighten it down and on, because it could be off. You can start it. Let me put my thread lock on. Now I've got the thread lock on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get it started. And then what I'm going to do is push on it. Get it in place more. And you'll find that this rotor is pretty heavy and it's going to be hard to keep in place. So it's almost better to just start with putting 2 lug nuts on it to get it tightened down, and then you can just tighten this without an issue. So that's what I'm going to do. And you want to make sure you put these lug nuts on tight. I'm going to use the impact wrench just to ensure that it's fully seated. The lug nut socket is a 7/8 or a 22.2 millimeter socket. Yeah, I noticed that moved quite a bit after using the impact wrench. All right, now that that's nice and tight, I can take these lug nuts back off. All right, now I can put this back on, and I've got my 21 millimeter bolts with thread lock on. These bolts can be a pain in the butt to get on. Sometimes they go right on, sometimes they don't. The impact wrench to get these tightened down, 21 millimeter. Those 2 bolts are on. Now I can put my 2 brake pads on. Again, these are marked. This says right hand inner. You have to seat the bottom first, and then the top goes in pretty easy. The outer one, you gotta hold at an angle as you're putting it in there. And drop it in. I forgot to say this in the beginning, but what I did do is open up the cap on the brake reservoir so that when I push the pistons on the caliper, it will relieve the pressure and the brake fluid can return to the reservoir. If you leave the cap on, it may not move at all. Next thing I'm going to do is push the pistons in, because now that I got new brake pads on, I'm going to need all the room possible. For this part, what I'm using is one of the old brake pads. These brake pads, by the way, aren't that bad, but because there were other issues, everything to be replaced at the same time. So I'm going to use this used brake pad, and I've got this piston pressing tool that I can use. Yeah, take that brake pad, put it in there, and then what I'm going to do is put this in here. This is a Craftsman tool. Came in a kit. The other side as well this time. Didn't have to do it on the other side. So I'm just going to go back and forth here between the two pistons. And now it's pushing both of them at the same time. Initially it was only pushing the one side. You can see right here, it's pretty closed up. Alright, that's down. Just make sure the other side is down. Take my wire off. Put the caliper on next, and I'm going to put some thread lock on these bolts here before I put them on. Set this on here. Put the thread lock on the bolts. You will have to use the 17mm open end wrench and then a 14mm socket to tighten this down. But before you tighten it all the way down, make sure you get the bottom started. This job is done. The only thing left to do is put the tire back on, start the car, pump the brakes a couple times, put the cap back on the brake fluid reservoir, and that will be it. For this job, rather than buying them from the dealership, I bought these from Avant Auto Part, and these are CarQuest brand Platinum. These are part number YH200950P. These do have a painted center cap and also the end. So this is what's going to go on. And then I bought the premium or professional Platinum Euro brake pads. This does come with the new sliders and the brake pad wear sensor cable. Those are the two new sliders. There's the two old ones. Good thing about getting the new ones is you can just put grease on them and they're good. The old ones, if you don't clean them good, grease mixes with the rust and then they almost become ineffective. I did use some brake cleaner to clean the spots out where the sliders go. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put grease in there, there, and there. These brake pads come with the little noise dampening shim on here, so there's no need to put anything on it. You can leave them just like they are and put them on your car. And these are specifically marked for which one goes on the outside and the inside. This one is an inner, and this is the outer. Got the new brake slides on, greased up, both side or top and bottom. Those are ready to go. Got brake pads ready to go. Got the brake rotor ready to go.